What's up, nation? It's your boy S. Baker once again in the building, here for another power recap. Alright, today we're going to talk about Season 4, Episode 6, New Man. Now, to bring you up to speed, we all know our dog, our homie, our big homie, Ghost is free. Angela went ahead and hit the stand and told the truth, and it got my man off. Tommy just went to Chicago, and everything is just starting to like unravel. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Power, Season 4, Episode 6, New Man. Let's go. Ha!
They say this is a big rich town. I just come from the poet's part. Bright light, city life, I gotta make it. This is where it goes down. I just happen to come up hard. Legal or illegal, baby, I gotta make it.
I never took this.
Alright, so we start the episode off with Ghost having a nightmare about when he killed Charlie Murphy's character. Obviously, that situation kind of got to him. I mean, I feel like he did what he had to do because he's Ghost. But nonetheless, it's something that he just can't just let go. He realizes that his wife, Tasha, did not sleep with him that night. And he probably wants to know why. So he's waking up from a nightmare. He feels like he needs to just, take a shower, rinse all his sins off, and become a new man. Then we head on later on into the scene where he's dressed and he goes to talk to Tasha. So as the two of them talk, he realizes that there's a disconnect between him and Tasha. And he's trying to figure out what's going on. Not really realizing that, Ghost, come on. Everything that you have done, just because you're out of jail, does not mean things go back to the way they were. So he talks to Tasha and he wants to basically start over, which honestly is not really fair to Tasha because she never wanted the situation to be different. Ghost wanted to be clean, but she wanted Ghost to continue to be a drug dealer. But as for their relationship, they talk about it for a little bit and she's just not with it. Okay, last season they had their little moment where they made love one more time, but Tasha's not really feeling Ghost like that. Honestly, she's probably feeling Terry. But we don't know yet. We just don't know yet. But at the end of the day, they're going to have a conversation. Then we move forward to the next scene. The next scene opens up with Kanaan on the lookout for Ghost. As we remember in the last episode, Jukebox has Tariq. And so they're supposed to be going back to the original plan, which is holding Tariq for hostage, get the money, and kill both. Kanaan is on his way to go get at Ghost, but then he notices that Ghost has a little bit too much heat on him. There's a lot of paparazzi around, probably some cops. He knows this is not the best situation to try to get at Ghost. Ghost, truth is opening back up. He feels great, he feels good. Who walks in? Your boy Simon Stern. Simon Stern informs Ghost that, his time here isn't just, oh, let's just kick the Willy Bobos. Your wife took money from me, and now you owe me something. Alright? And in order for you to pay me back or what you owe me, I have a business proposition for you. Now, if you follow what I want, your entire debt is erased. We don't really know what Simon Stern wants. I think he wants a black face for his new venture. We also get a phone call from our man Tariq, who is telling Ghost, hey, what's going on? How come you haven't given the phone to Tommy yet? Ghost has reached out to Tommy, but he doesn't know what's going on. We know what's going on, but Ghost don't know what's going on. He said, hey, look, old man, I will get that phone to Tommy as soon as I can. As soon as I can. You just have to wait. But he reminds Ghost, hey, don't forget, I got some dirt on you. So you better make sure that happens. On to the next scene. In the next scene, we have a conversation between Jukebox and Kanaan, where Jukebox is just trying to make sure Kanaan is still on task. Now, In the last 2 episodes, we're starting to realize that there's something going on with Kanaan. I don't feel like Kanaan is with Jukebox's plan. I think Kanaan actually has some type of love for Tariq. But we're going to go forward to the next scene as we move on through the episode. In this same scene, I said we we're going to go to the next scene, but in this same scene, we have a little back and forth between Tariq and Jukebox where Tariq is telling Jukebox, hey, look, you know, where's Slim? I'm going to have to go home because my mom's going to be worried. I promised her this situation wouldn't happen again. She's like,
I got you, little nigga, don't worry about it.
She texts Tasha, asks Tariq, you know, asks her, you know, do I have to come home tonight? Tasha's like, nah, you're good for tonight, but I'll come pick you up in the morning. Enough said. In this same scene, we also have a back and forth between Tasha and Keisha. Keisha wants out. Keisha wants no part of this drug business that Tasha has forced upon her. Keisha's just like, look, I want out. I don't want anything to do with this. Tasha's trying to help her and let her know, like, hey, look, it just has to continue for a little bit longer, and then we're going to let you out. I don't know how Keisha feels. I feel like Keisha feels like she's getting played. Plus, she hasn't talked to Tommy in a while. On to the next scene. All right, in this next scene, we have Tommy, who's in Chicago, who is finally meeting up with this man.
Jason Mitchich, good to meet you in the flesh.
Now, we don't know exactly who Jason Mitchell is, but this is the guy who I guess is supplying the drugs to New York through Tommy. He's basically, hey, look, I'm the new guy. We don't want you working with Ghost anymore. We want you to be your own man. The situation with Ghost is kind of messed up, and we just want to separate Ghost from that whole situation. Not only that, we want you to expand. So not only do we want you to work in New York, we also want you to work in LA. Tommy's probably with it because, you know, more money, more money, more money. Tommy's all about making that money. In the end of this scene, he says, hey, you know, we're having a little shindig. You might as well come get with us on that. Tommy's a little reluctant to go, but I think he's going to go. Let's see what happens later on in the episode, okay? On to the next scene. In the very next scene, we have my man, my dog, Julio, who wants to meet up with one of his workers, asking have you heard from Tommy. No, he's heard from Tommy. He's just letting them know, like, hey, look, I need to talk to Tommy. It's very urgent because Julio know Dre has been talking to Kanaan. So in the midst of all this, he must have told Dre to meet up at the same time. So then Dre pulls up. He tells him, hey man, what the F is going on, man? Why are you talking to Kanaan? Tommy told us not to deal with Kanaan. Not only not to deal with Kanaan, but if we see him, kill him. Because it's that serious. Of course, Dre's manipulating the situation. It's like,
the nigga shows up at Truth, I can't shoot him in the club, can I?
Look, he came in, he wanted to be back in the game, and I shut it down. What's the problem? Of course there's a problem. Dre's very manipulative. So he explains to Julio how, you know, some of the other guys know that he's been fronting Cristobal some extra keys. Dre has a solution to the problem. And of course, Julio's like, all right, set it up. I don't know about it, but set it up. So Dre's going to set it up. I think Dre's up to something. And we're going to find out later on in the episode. In his next scene, we have Tariq and Jukebox having a little personal time. Tariq is still trying to figure out what's going on with Slim. But Jukebox, of course, is stalling. In the midst of their having conversation, Tariq asks Jukebox, how did you get the name Jukebox? She explains to him, like, you know, I know a lot of songs and I can sing them and I'm pretty good. I'm actually better than a lot of these people that can actually do these songs. So she gives him a little bit of some lean. And you know what that stuff does to you. It kind of puts you to sleep. Jukebox kind of serenades him a little bit. Makes him feel comfortable. Then tell him night-night, nigga. On to the next one. So in the next scene, we have Ghost and Tasha getting ready to have a conversation. Tasha wants to talk about Tariq. Ghost wants to confront Tasha about what he just found out, that she took money from Stern. Tasha's very smart. Let's put that out here. Tasha's no dumb bitch. And she tells Ghost, like, look, no matter what I did, you're a smart man. You know how to work this situation. You know how to use Stern to your advantage because you're a Ghost. Ghost is like, yeah, hell yeah, you right, you right. And that's all this scene's really about. Okay, Tasha, you took some money from Stern, but I only took money from Stern because I know you know how to handle it, Ghost. Ghost knows how to handle it. Let's find out. Maybe later on in the season, maybe later on this episode. We don't know, but we will find out. In this next scene, we have Dre talking to some of Julio's old gang members. Now, if we remember earlier in the season, we find out that Ghost actually paid money to get Julio out the gang. But if you know how gangs really works, you know it's blood in, blood out. Meaning, blood in, blood out. And so there's a lot of people who are kind of offended by the fact that he just kind of paid money to get out the game. Now, Dre reminds these people that with Ghost out, that means that deal is null and void. Which means Julio can be killed. And these people are hungry for Julio's head. So, you know, Julio is a character that I liked, and I really hate to see what's going to happen to him. But that's what this scene was about. It's all about Dre manipulating the situation to get Julio out the way because he wants to be distro. You know, Dre's up to a lot of things in this season. Like, this is kind of Dre's season. He's really coming to his own. He's a dirty MFer. MFer. Mother lover, as BET might say. But nonetheless, Dre's up to no good, and it looked like it's not going to end well for my man Julio. But we'll find out later on in the episode. Let's go to the next scene. Alright, next scene, later on in the night in Chicago. If you remember in the episode, Jason told Tommy we're not done and we need to continue this conversation. So here's the scene where he got all the girls, they out here getting drunk, getting plastered. And the conversation of Mulan comes up where Tommy is like, I'm just a little surprised that the hit on Milan was so easily green-lighted. But we don't know what's going on. Later on in the scene, we find out that maybe, just maybe, the hit on Milan was not green-lighted and that Tommy and Ghost worked on their own accord. So what they have done is hit Tommy in the back of the head, put him in the trunk, and they're going to take him to a secluded area. Who knows what's going to happen next? Is Tommy going to die? We don't know. But let's find out. On to the next scene. In this next scene, we find out that, yes, Dre set up Julio. And he's confronted by 3 guys from his former gang. And I just want to put it out there that, man, Julio put up a fight, man. He did not go out like no punk. He fought for his life, but ultimately, what can you do? You got 3 guys against you, and my man Julio he just couldn't make it, man. It's really sad because I really like the Julio character. He just wanted to make money. I never really felt like Julio was the type of guy that really wanted to kill or be as crazy as Tommy is, or even be as crazy as Ghost is. He just wanted to get money, man. And this sucks, man. I really hate the fact that we killed Julio off. But in this next scene, that's what it was. We killed Julio off. Rest in peace, Julio. We got love for you, bro. In this next scene, we find out where Jason is taking Tommy, and it's to an empty grave. But also there is Pitar, or Picard, whatever the guy name is, I don't know. He's there too, and Jason just wants answers. He's like, hey, what happened? Tommy's like, hey, Pitar was like, yo, you're good with the hit. Picard's like, no, Tommy said somebody else did the hit. So it's a bunch of back and forth until Tatiana comes around, and Tatiana basically tells Jason, like, I believe Tommy. So when it's all said and done, Jason makes a very smart decision and kills Pitar, or Picard, or whatever his name is. Kills that mother. Keeps Tommy alive. Gives Tommy the keys so he can go. Tommy lets him know, I'll never let you walk behind me ever again. But nonetheless, Tommy survives. Yes. But on to the next scene. Oh, one more thing before we go to the next scene. I like when it gets to the point where Tommy thinks that he's going to die, his last memory is of Holly. Tommy really loved that girl, and he really hated to kill her. But, I mean, what would you do if somebody killed your best friend? At least that's what Tommy thought. She killed his best friend. So you never know, but Tommy really loved Holly. Ah, yes. The next scene. Ghost finds out Kanaan is alive, and he tells him, you're going to do everything that I tell you to do, or your son dies. So, you know, just to kind of make this quick, Kanaan takes Ghost to go get some money. Now, Ghost tried to explain to Kanaan, like, look, I just got out of jail. All my assets was frozen. I ain't got money. Kanaan explains to him, well, you better figure out how to get this money. So Ghost comes up with the idea that, hey, we're going to have to go rob some of my own people. Kanaan's not surprised. Kanaan know, like Ghost, he's that type of guy. So I think they had a brother moment. You know, after everything that they've been through together, they just had a moment to where they just really realized that, hey, you know what, at the end of the day, I care about you, you care about me. You know, they're two men who just on the same path went in different directions. Ghost wants to be clean. Kanaan wants to be in the game. And he feel like in order for him to get out of the game, Kanaan had to be out the way. I think Kanaan forgives him just a little bit. Maybe just for even Tariq's sake. So they go and get the money. They rob these guys. Unfortunately, Kanaan kills one of them. But he gets the money. So now Ghost and Kanaan are on their way to Tariq and Jukebox. Let's see what happens. I also forgot to mention, in this same scene, we have Tommy going through Ohio where he knows Holly lived at. Because Holly has told Tommy so much about her life, I think Tommy has found a home where she was once raised, or at least found a guy who was selling a home that was connected to Holly, which ultimately comes to find out is her uncle. Holly was molested by her uncle, and I think Tommy took this time to get revenge for Holly. Look, Tommy is really hurt by what he did to Holly. Nonetheless, he felt like he had to do it, but he's really hurt. So what does Tommy do? He kills the guy who molested Holly. My man Tommy. On to the next scene. In the next scene, we find out Kanaan does have love for Tariq. Instead of just taking Ghost's money, killing him, killing Tariq, he explains to Ghost,
Jukebox gonna want to kill Tariq the minute she get that money. I don't know who she got in there with her. I don't know what they're gonna do to me. So you can take that gun and you can use it to kill me for all the shit we got between us. Or we can go in together and try and save your son.
They go in there and, of course, Jukebox is there. Tariq is there. It looks like everything is going to plan. Ghost is tied up, but one of his little wrists isn't tied up all the way. So as he get ready to pull his wrist out, everybody draw guns. There's a little back and forth between Jukebox, Ghost, Kanaan, with eventually Jukebox forces Kanaan to explain to Tariq who he really is. Tariq thinks this is Slim. He has to explain to Tariq, I'm actually Kanaan. Everything that I was doing was to run game on you to get money from your father, because this is the life that we live. In the midst of all this conversation, Ghost makes a move, which actually makes Jukebox make a mistake, a fatal mistake, to where she pulls her gun away from Tariq's head into on Ghost, which now gives Kanaan the opportunity to unfortunately kill his cousin, because Kanaan has love for Tariq. But now, fortunately, Tariq knows what happens to Sean, that Kanaan killed his own son. He took the money and he ran. Told him, I'll see you later, little nigga. Alright guys, that was the end of the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed my recap of Power Episode 4, Season 6, New Man. What do you guys think is going to happen later on in the season? We still don't know why Teresi wants Tommy. Whatever happened to Silver? And you know, the beautiful Angela Valdez had nothing to do with this episode. So what's going to happen in that situation? I still think she know Mike did it. You got to keep watching to find out. Power is such a great TV show and I love it dearly. Nation, if you don't watch it, please, 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 please start watching Power. It's a great show. I mean, it's probably one of the greatest shows on TV. And I'm telling you, it has definitely surpassed Breaking Bad for me, which was ultimately my favorite TV show of all time. Now it's Power. From your boy S. Dot, I hope you enjoyed it. Go ahead and give me some thumbs up on that. You can share it to your friends. You know, hit the notification button so you can catch it every single time I drop a video. I love y'all, nation. 1.